And we're live. Good timing. Welcome to this week's live stream episode of Mental Misdeeds. As always, it's me, Caleb Salvatore. I'm not doing the introduction this week. I don't feel like it.
Hey, I'm Dre, and if you don't know me by now, hey, welcome. Let's get
What's
to
going
know
on?
each other.
What's going on? Yes, we don't have a guest for you this week. We're just kind of hanging out, shooting the shit. I am in the process of moving, and we just emptied out the gun safe. And let me tell you, this would be the worst time imaginable for somebody to rob me because I've got like 6 ARs just laying in front of me right now. This would I brought Mia in when I cleared out the gun safe. I'm like, come here. You know those people they talk about on the news that hoard guns? We're them. That's us. So don't make fun of them anymore because this is us. So
Hoarding guns, please. You have a collection.
Yeah, we have a collection. You know, so people
An
hoard
assortment.
stamps. Yeah, people don't hoard stamps. You know.
Right. We never complain about when people collect other stuff. What's wrong with weapons to defend yourself? Maybe this one works better in this situation than that one.
DC politicians and Hollywood elite collect, child sex slaves. Why can't I collect guns? Like, that's harmless compared to the shit those guys are into. So, well, what are you gonna do?
So I got to shoot this weekend outside at an outdoor range on somebody's private land. It was pretty cool. It is much more fun to shoot at objects than it is a paper target.
Mm-hmm.
And so like shooting bottles and stuff. And there was a guy out there from the range that I talk to from time to time that helps give me lessons and tips and pointers. Hey, Jerry, thanks. He's currently banned right now, so I don't know. Oh. But he's like, shoot that thing at point blank range. And I'm like, really? I'm like, wow, yeah, that was really fucking fun. It was like this big metal bottle. It was this, it used to be a nuclear silo site.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
so you got all kinds of radiation poisoning there.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just big circular cement and like all the ground coming up. There's pieces of glass and shit because they pour cement over cement over cement and it just disintegrates over time. But it was really fun and I'm getting better at aim and no more limp wrists. So
oh yeah, the limp wrist is the worst thing in the world. Like it's so fucking. Because no one really prepares you for that. You know what I mean? Like you see the movies and people are whipping guns around and shit, and people that have never like someone who's never fired a gun picks it up and just knows how to use it right away. You get rifles that aren't sighted in. I mean, it's completely unrealistic. But I remember when I first started shooting handguns on my own, no one had ever taught me about limp wristing because I grew up on revolvers, right? Like that's all we had as a kid was we had 38 special 357 revolvers at 20, like at 22, but I don't. That's
the first thing I shot was a big old revolver. Shot my ass backwards at age 11.
Yeah, I was like 12. Yeah, I was probably younger than that actually. But yeah, 357 revolver. So I grew up on revolvers. So I mean, yeah, you can limp wrist a revolver. It'll just fuck up your shot. But like if you limp wrist a semi-auto, like you find out real quick that it doesn't work the second time you try to pull the trigger.
So yeah, you're jamming that gun.
Yeah, and it's not good for it.
It's not good for it. It's super frustrating. But once you figure out like how to fix it, you're pretty golden. Like I'm much better. Like I said, it's completely done. I don't jam a single round anymore, and my aim's pretty damn good. So don't break in my house.
There you go. I need to get Mia a gun. I don't know. I kind of want to get her a 5.7, but money. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, she's welcome to try mine out and see if that one would work for her anytime.
You have a 5.7?
No, I just because I have a pretty small gun, but we have smaller ones that I can't fire. So
that's the thing with those small guns is they're often marketed towards smaller women because they want to carry them in their purse. But in reality, those are actually harder to shoot than some of the bigger handguns. Like she can handle my Glocks with no problem, but when we start shooting like some of the 38 revolvers and shit like that, that's where she runs into problems. And for smaller women like that.
Yeah, John's got a 380 that I literally cannot fire. It's just it doesn't work in my hand the way that the size is. But my 380 Glock, I have no problem with.
Yeah, you just gotta. That's the cool thing is you can go to the gun store and figure out what fits in your hand best. You can go to the range and test it, and so.
Right, but she won't have to pay me to to borrow my gun for a day.
I'll let her know.
She doesn't have to rent my gun if she wants to try it out.
No, I'll let her know. But yeah, so I mean, so speaking of moving, I had quite the fiasco yesterday.
Dude, yeah, you got to tell the folks about this, because when you move from apartment to apartment, it's rarely smooth just because of the complex. But when you throw in a fucking this shit, tell them.
So everything up until this point had actually gone really smooth. Like we had no issues. The only issues we had was with the current place. I couldn't get a hold of them, and they were like, "Oh, you need 2 months notice to move out." And I was like, "Well, I was calling you for a week straight, leaving messages, and nobody replied." And she's like, "Well, we can backdate it." I'm like, "Yeah, I bet you can." But that was, I mean, with the new place, we didn't have any. They'd been had good communication with us, and everything was fine. And they helped us out when we needed it. Like they were trying to make it so we would move in on a Monday, and I'm like, can we take, like, we'll pay the extra days if we can take the keys on a Friday, the Friday before. And they were flexible with that. And like, we had no issues. And I get a call today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. I got a call yesterday morning, and it's the new apartment. And they said, "Hey, the current resident in the place you're moving to is refusing to vacate." I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna do? She's like, "Well, she says she doesn't know where to put her stuff." I'm like, "Well, let me tell y'all some shit." So I found out through ways I'm not gonna disclose. This is like a 22-year-old girl from an affluent, well-off family. My guess is this: no one's told her. She's still degenerate trash as far as I'm concerned. That's what I refer to her as all day, and I'll continue to say it. But my guess is no one's told her the effect that an eviction will have on your credit score, and that it would be better to pay a couple $100 for a storage locker until you find a place to move than to live in Section 8 for the rest of your life, which is what'll happen if you have an eviction notice at 22. So
somebody probably had to explain to her what a credit report was and how it's going to screw her life if she does this. Jesus Christ. That's how dumb they are.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to stay in a place I have no right to be in.
Yeah. Like, people
that blows my mind.
Yeah. I'm not even considering the people I'm fucking over. Right. And I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I called our apartment. I was like, "Hey, have you guys rented this out? Like, we'll pay whatever surcharge and we'll just deduct it from our rent at the new place, because this is their fucking issue." Because her lease was up a week ago, and they were just now contacting us. So they wasted a week of the eviction process and a week of letting us make arrangements. So as far as I was concerned, if we were going to have to be put in an Airbnb or a hotel for a month, that was their dime. But they had already leased this place out to someone else. And I mean, I'm scrambling, trying to figure some shit out. Like, what do I have to do? Because I mean, it's her family lives in another state. My family doesn't have room for us to live anywhere. Like, I'm not about to be homeless because some dumb bitch can't get her shit together. You know what I mean?
She doesn't know how to run a storage locker and call her friend or family member.
She just doesn't care. This is fucking because we've raised a generation of narcissists, which is really what's going on, of sociopaths. But so, like, I'm fucking freaking out, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to do, like, there's a time when reasonable men must be forced to do unreasonable things. Like, I'm gonna have to do some illegal shit to get this fucking apartment to make sure my family's not homeless. Because at the end of the day, that's my responsibility, is to take care of the people I love. And whatever.
Very true.
What's the saying? There comes a time where every normal man must spit on his hands, raise the black flag, and begin to cut throats. Like, that's you kind of get there. Now, Caleb 5 years ago would have been a menace from day one. Like, I would have gone down there, like, her tires would have had holes in them. It would have been a whole deal, right? But
right off the bat. Thinking about it.
Yeah, I did things legally. I handled it. I handled myself very well. I did some things that were a little slimy and shady to, kind of speed the process up. But we got the call today saying she's out of there, and that's all that matters. But
apparently she's found somewhere to put her shit.
Or it just really, all I'll say is it must really suck with no air conditioning in 100-degree weather. Won't go into detail about it, but no air conditioning, no internet, no power. It probably gets a little hot and a little boring running out of shit to do in there. So yeah, I can I can imagine why she would have wanted to move so quickly. But no, I mean, I was like, dude, it's literally like you don't realize how much of a thin line this whole society walks on until you're facing homelessness through no faults of your own. It's not that we couldn't afford to pay. It's not that we were like horrible tenants and got kicked out or something. It was literally we did everything right. Mm-hmm. And just one person is about to have me bound to a hotel for a month because she doesn't care about anyone but herself. You know what I mean?
Essentially, yeah, making you move twice. Like, what a pain in the ass it is to move in the first place. Then you guys have to store your shit. You have to live in a hotel or whatever with both of your dogs. Like, couldn't be more of a pain in the ass for you.
Well, we'd have to store our shit. And, I mean, you can't store electronics in this weather. So we'd have to figure out where to put, like, our TVs, our computers, our, everything. All that shit would have to, because it's going to fry. Otherwise, it'll get ruined. For a day, you'd be fine. But if you're going to stick that shit in there in a storage locker for a month, good luck, man. You might as well just buy new shit, and sell the old stuff. Like,
or pay a premium for the temperature controlled ones. Like they have them, but I'm sure they're way more expensive.
They're way more expensive. But yeah, so I mean, it was a very scary day on Juneteenth for me. So I excuse me. Everything's figured out now, though. We're not. Everything's been handled. We move in Friday, and I'm happy. So it's like,
oh, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was going over just every possible way to terrorize this girl out of this apartment. I'm like,
I know. I was getting the texts.
Do I?
Hilarious. I'm like, scorched earth. Do it.
Buy a burner phone and call her pretending to be a stalker that knows where she lives? Or do I like find out where her dead grandma's buried, dig up her grave, and leave it on her porch in the middle of the night? Like what? There's a couple ways. Do I find her the link to her OnlyFans account that was way too easy to find and send it to everyone on her friends list, which, I mean, there were options here, is what I'm saying. There were options that I didn't exercise, but I very well could have. So I did not go scorched earth. I came close to it, though. So, I mean, it was... Do I call her job and say she was harassing a black family at the bar with her company lanyard on, calling them and their children the N-word while drunk at 6 o'clock in the afternoon? I mean, there were options. I could have ruined this girl, and I played by the rules. So people should give me a round of applause because I had every right to go nuclear and absolutely destroy everything about her, but I didn't do it. So
this is growth, Caleb. Because a couple years ago, you probably would have done that.
And I would have been justified, is the thing. You don't fuck. There's one thing you don't fuck with. It's a man's well-being, his livelihood. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
And when you do, you get everything that's coming to you, like including pancreatic cancer 15 years later. You get everything that's coming to you. That's going to make a great TikTok clip later on. But
you get pancreatic cancer.
I had some guy on my TikTok that wanted to he's like, remove your duets and stitches.
Why?
He's like, quit being so shy, because he wanted to, I don't know, debate me, roast me.
Oh, should a block on doing those or something?
I don't know how to turn it on. I don't even know. I thought they were on. I didn't even know. I'm a boomer with technology. I mean, with that kind of with the Gen Z shit, I can figure out editing software. That stuff hasn't changed from when I was in high school, but I don't know how any of this TikTok shit works. I just figured, I throw a green screen on, I rant, I'll reply to some of the comments. I don't fucking, and there's some dude that looks like a pedophile Orlando Brown is on here wanting to argue with me, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're already Orlando Brown's already a crackhead. Now you got to make him go look like a pedophile too. Give me a break. That's so Raven. The fuck out of here.
I think it's so funny that all these people think that they are owed a debate or whatever they call it on TikTok with you, who asked you? And this is my TikTok page or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, he like the thing was about
duet.
Duet. The thing was about transitioning 14-year-olds. And I'm like, bro, honestly, I don't care what your opinion is, because if you don't think, look, there are some things we can sit down and debate economic theory and all kinds of shit like that. And you know what? We'll both probably walk away with some good points and a new perspective. There is absolutely, if you don't agree with me on transitioning 14-year-olds, it's not a matter of opinion. You're a child abuser. You're wrong. There's nothing to argue about. You're wrong. I don't give a fuck. Like that's all there is to it. I'm not gonna sit there and argue with you the same way I wouldn't sit there and argue with a Nazi on his opinion of Jewish people. It's a waste of fucking time because you're both wrong. Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm comparing people like that to Nazis. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. Woo. And then I got some A1. I've had a week, man. I got some A1 marketing last week for my comedy show.
What?
From Homeboy, the failed artist.
God, dude, what a douchebag. I can't believe I engaged.
Psychopath. So here's the backstory, right? We're in this Facebook group. It's a music group. It's nothing to do with politics or comedy or anything like that. And this guy, it was some argument about gun control, and the argument got to age of majority. And I wasn't involved in it, right? I just do a quick little slant at the guy, right? He said something about age of majority laws, and I'm like, yeah, that's why we should lower the drinking age to 18. I wasn't even being combative. I wasn't being insulting, just a dumb joke, right? And he fucking flies off the walls at me about how actually the human brain isn't fully developed till 25. I guess that would explain why you have so many issues, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? It was like a paragraph. So I was like, yeah, and I guess that would explain why you're a failed artist too, you fucking piece of shit. And guy goes off the walls at me, starts stalking my whole life. This was months ago. He comes to my I made a joke about months later about there was a picture of a grown man in a dirty diaper with a pacifier in his mouth. And someone said, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's fine opinion for you to have, but that guy's family members should probably get him institutionalized. You know what I mean? Like the guy's, you know, and dude went off the walls. The dude found my comment, had nothing to do with him, went off the walls on me again, talking about how I'm a transphobe for that. Comes to my profile, the ad for my show, saying that I said all transgenders are groomers and all gay people are pedophiles. And I'm like, you know what, bro? I know I didn't say that because I don't believe that. Like, I wouldn't say something like that that I don't believe. Like, I know me, and I know even if I got drunk and was trying to fuck with you, I wouldn't say that because that's just not something I would say. And I'm like, can you provide screenshots? Well, no, you deleted them. Oh, of course I did. Yeah,
of course
I deleted them. Not a single screenshot. Well,
this guy is fucking Looney Tunes.
Maniac.
And, you know, of course he has nothing to add. So the minute I jump in stupidly because he's annoying the piss out of me as well. And he starts insulting my looks of all things. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, Caleb has never said that. I've been to pretty much every comedy show he's ever done. I know his whole set. I could probably do it, and not as well, obviously, but you know, that's not what he says. That's not what he expresses online. I see pretty much everything he fucking posts because we're tight. We see each other, you know, it shows up. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And he still has no fucking argument. He still won't show himself. There's no pictures of this guy.
Oh, there's a picture. He looks like a sex offender. I've seen pictures of him.
Oh, somebody did Bravietti?
I think it was Monty or Bravietti, one of them. Yeah.
One of them pulled up a picture of him. Dude, that guy's scary looking. If I saw him walking down the street, I'd have my hand on my gun and cross the street. Yeah.
He's a creeper, and
he looks like he looks like he drives a van and wears a long trench coat and lurks in the shadows.
The drive-by jack-offs, that's what they call them when dudes will like drive by like female joggers, and it's fucking disgusting. But no, so I mean, it's like I love his whole thing. He was talking about I'm this right-wing bigot, and his go-to insult was to call me gay. I'm like, wait, what? How does that make sense? Like, you're gay. First off, what are we in, like 11th grade? In 2008, you're gay is your go-to insult. Like, come on, man. And first off, second off, every gay dude I know takes care of himself. So I guess that's a compliment. Like thanks for saying I'm in shape. I don't like what the. I'm clean cut. I look like I have good hygiene practices. I don't know what you want me to take from I look gay in 2022, bro. Like I'm getting married to a woman. Like I promise you I'm not gay. If you got some stuff that you want to talk about and you want to work out because maybe you got some feelings that you repressed from 20 years back, like we can do that. He thinks
Caleb's cute.
He does. That's how. So yeah, I think
he's hot for Caleb.
So the only reason I'm addressing it is because like he came. Like we can do the roast battle thing all you want online until one of us gets bored. That's fine, but don't come to my post where I'm actually trying to make money and promote myself and other people and accuse me of things that would defame my character that I didn't say. Because that's where I have an issue, and that's where people are actually going to get hit with a lawsuit. Because what he doesn't fucking realize is his claim that I deleted the comments is horseshit. Because Facebook actually keeps a record going back 15 years of every comment you've ever deleted, and I just had them produce an HTML report of it. So when someone gets hit with a cease and desist letter, he's going to piss his fucking pants. I thought he was.
And by the look of that dude, there's no way he can afford an attorney.
No, he was trying to sell his shitty artwork to pay for it. He had a hashtag save my house.
Oh, that's right. You guys were. Oh God, yeah. Go harder next time.
That's what he said. He's like, "Does it upset you that I own a house?" I'm like, "No, it means you'll have collateral to put up when I fucking sue you if you don't stop publicly defaming me."
I mean, if you still have it by then, looks like you're trying to keep it. Desperately.
Yeah, people like that guy and the
really jealous of you being on the brink of foreclosure.
It's you know what I'm really jealous of? That guy that maxed out his credit cards. Like that's yeah, you have a house for now. Congratulations. Like I could have a house for now too, but that's how you want to play this shit. But no, I mean the guy, I don't want to give him too much time because really he is just a fucking loser.
He was, and I'm glad that the other people jumped in because he needed to get spanked.
Oh, and he did. He's a fucking clown. Possibles. I mean, he looks like a sex offender. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying he is one, but he certainly looks like one. He's a terrible failed artist. He talks about his art gets put in galleries. I'm like, yeah, your mother's fridge is not a gallery. Your mother's fridge is not a gallery. She may tell you it is when you walk upstairs and ask her for another apple juice, but it's not. Yeah, no, save my house, save my mom's house is what it should have said. But no, so his whole thing
to dwell in.
I finally got to the bottom of it. I don't know if he took his lithium for the day or something, but I finally got to the bottom of what upset him so much that I said, and it was that I insulted the guy in the diaper. I had no idea that's what it was. And I was like, dude, he's like, you're making fun of marginalized people. I'm like, bro, grown men that wear diapers are not marginalized. Neither are failed artists like you. Like, that's a mental illness. He's like, it's a fetish. Like, you know what? There's plenty of fetishes that cross the line. There's people that have animal fetishes, and those people need help too. Technically,
yes, please don't abuse animals just because you think they're sexy.
Yeah, technically, all a pedophile is somebody with a child fetish. That doesn't mean that's okay. Those people should eat a bullet.
Right.
Like, if my wife came to me today and was like, "Hey, I want you to wear a dirty diaper the next time we have sex," I would be like, "Let's go to couples counseling." Like, it wouldn't even be an option, because that's someone with a problem.
Hey, sweetie, maybe we need to talk about a padded room for a little bit.
Yeah, maybe we should go get your epilepsy meds switched up because they're causing some kind of unwanted side effects. But Jesus he's like, you don't know what the diaper community is? How lame are you? I'm like, you know what, bro?
Oh my God.
If not knowing what the diaper community is what makes me lame, then I will take that all day. I will embrace that label.
And you know what? If there's a diaper community, I sure as fuck hope they're doing that in the privacy of their own homes. Because listen to me, people, nobody wants to smell your pissy diaper. Okay, that better be an at-home thing because I don't want to smell it.
You need some help. You need some serious...
The only people that should be walking around with diapers on are babies and the elderly, if necessary.
Yeah, people that are like incontinent or with incontinence. Yeah, that's the only people that should wear a diaper. if you want to wear a diaper and you don't need to, get some help before you just try it. Try therapy. It's pretty cheap. You have insurance, like $25 a session. Like just go give it a whirl.
Too.
What's
keep
that?
Keep it at home. I said, and keep it at home. Nobody wants
never,
to see or smell that shit.
Never bring it out of the home. No. Never, ever do that. Yeah, no, the diaper community. What a fucking... I can't even believe that someone could say that with a straight face.
Right. I forgot about that comment. I was like, you lost me at diaper community. I'm out. Bye.
Yeah. The diaper community. So I'm sorry. People like that are a perfect example of being so open-minded that your brain falls out. Like
the diaper community is not an oppressed community. They are an oddball kink. It's an oddball kink. Whatever. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. It's like foot fetish, but more disgusting somehow. But so I mean, yeah, I'm all for it. Like, there's one thing. It's one thing to be tolerant, right? And so that guy's a different culture. That guy's gay. That woman's lesbian. That person's transgender. That's one thing to be tolerant. But when you start trying to normalize disgusting shit like grown adults shitting themselves in diapers, or people dressing up as animals and having sex, yes, I'm taking shots at the furries. Fucking come at me. That's when we have an issue. That's when it's like, okay, if we want to continue to exist as a society, we have to draw a collective line somewhere as far as tolerance is concerned. And I think grown men in diapers is a good start. Like, that's
and as far as the furry thing, that just seems like a recipe for very, very unsafe sex.
Unsafe sex, bestiality with extra steps. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, it just seems like there's so much more room for, I don't know, hooking up with the wrong person, not having safe sex, and being I don't know. It just seems like a recipe for fucking disaster.
Well, I mean, what are furries? Aren't furries essentially the same thing for people that are like into bestiality as like comic books of little kids are for pedophiles? Like, that's basically the same thing. It's basically just VR bestiality.
I mean, I know this much about it. As I understand it, it's the people who like to dress up in an animal costume from head to toe and go have sex with each other, like Comic-Con type things, but maybe on a smaller scale. I don't know. Is that, correct me if I'm wrong? I don't fucking know. I'm not.
The people that shit themselves are called brownies, is what the commenter said. We are not looking it up.
We're not looking that up.
We're not
I'll take your word for it.
Family friendly Christian conservative show. There are some things we won't show on here. Yeah,
right. I'm not showing that. I'm just not a poo person. I'm not into it. I don't want to talk about it.
No, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting enough from your own children and yourself and I don't even want to think about it from other people. It's just no. It's disgusting. Leave it in the bathroom. Leave it in the bathroom
where it belongs.
If it does turn you on, yes, you should get help because there is something wrong with you. I feel that's a reasonable take. I'm sorry. Maybe like if we're really at a point where it's going to become a mainstream opinion to defend grown men that get turned on by soiling themselves in diapers, I'm moving to the woods, bro. Like, that's...
Well, dude, since when is a kink your whole personality? Isn't that just one thing you like sexually? Like,
yeah.
Tell the people that you want to have sex with about it and leave it at that. Like, Why does everybody need to know about it?
Right. Like, you don't see people that are into like choking, walking around just strangling the lady at the bank. You know what I mean? Like, they keep that shit to themselves. Like,
right. Like, it's just like anything else. Like, nobody needs to know about your sexual preferences unless, you want to engage with them in that way, Like,
you certainly don't need to make, half your podcast about it, but I digress. Fucking freaks out there, man.
Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's been my week. Is just, dealing with the harassment from a psychopath and then dealing with a scumbag tenant 3 days later that didn't. This was all in like the matter of 3 days. That didn't want to vacate the premises, but we got her out. We smoked her out like an FBI hostage standoff.
It totally was kind of smoking her out, cutting off all her resources that make her comfortable. Fuck.
Hey, that's what art of war, baby. The first thing you do is you cut off your enemy's supply line. The second you do that, it's only a matter of time. It's a waiting game. So that's what we did. That's what we had to do. So.
Well, you got those. You got it shit turned around quick. I like it. I'm happy for you too that you guys didn't get fucked with on your fucking move, because it's always a pain in the ass.
Yes, absolutely. What were you had some articles, some news articles you wanted to go over today?
I have actually 0 links because
I can pull them up. It doesn't matter. What was the first story?
Let's see here. Oh, the Twitter board unanimously voting for to recommend shareholders for the sale to be approved to Elon, because I don't know, they want that money. That sweet.
Because here, I'll pull it up real quick. I think they recognize that we're on the tech bubble's about to burst, and we're headed towards a recession, and stock is going to be worth about half of what he's offering in a year. And I think that's
yeah. And the thing about this whole thing is like stuck with me is the number of or percentage of bots. Mm-hmm. Like he's digging into that,
because it's not official yet until the bot thing is rectified.
Right. So it'll be real interesting to see exactly what that percentage is, because just seeing the screenshots that random people post of the same exact tweet over and over by supposedly individual users who aren't just retweeting that person, mm-hmm. I think it's going to be pretty fucking high. And then right when this whole thing started, remember how moderates, libertarians, and right-leaning people started getting more and more mm-hmm. followers.
Yep. I got 3 more followers. But, no, they definitely throttled people's followers.
And they're like, we're gonna fix it a little bit before he really starts looking into it. Like, are you kidding? Like, the data's there. You guys are programmers. What mm-hmm. the fuck is wrong with you? He can see.
Yeah. No, it's a huge scam. It really is. Like, you'll see like people coming on and with just asinine takes that are clearly just there to rile people up, and it starts a whole fucking issue on Twitter. They've got 0 followers. They've been an account for 6 years, and everything they do, they have no profile picture. Their username's a bunch of numbers and letters, and everything they do is just harass people about politics. So like it's clearly.
Do they get blue checks? I don't spend any time
they don't
at
get
all
blue
on
checks.
Twitter.
No, okay. The blue check, you actually have to prove you are who you say you are, and that you have somewhat of a following. Otherwise, they wouldn't let you.
Is there a threshold for that? Because obviously, like, regular people can get blue checks, right?
Yeah, I think you just have to show that you have like at least somewhat. I don't know what the exact number is, but you have to show that you have somewhat of a following, and you have a public profile. You know what I mean? Like, you have to prove like you have a show, or you're running for political office, you're a comedian, musician, something like that.
Gotcha.
So
Twitter and their weird rules, whatever the fuck.
So
blue check mark, you're special.
Have you ever heard of the account The 3-Year Letterman?
The 3-Year Letterman?
No, it's this. So it's a joke account. It's very thick satire. It's not even really that thick when you look at it for like more than a minute. The whole thing is this guy from Georgia who peaked in high school, and he's like a youth football coach, and he talks about just all this crazy shit. About how like it just asks ridiculous shit, like I deny the 3rd graders on my son's team water at practice, and he'll say stuff like Ben Franklin was America's first and greatest president who invented currency. Just America's the oldest country in the world.
Right.
Just
outrageous.
Crazy, crazy shit like that. And people, the dude has hundreds of thousands of followers. He's been he'll reply to celebrities. He'll purposely call people by the wrong name. Like he'll reply to like Joe Biden's tweets, and he'll be, "Governor, I disagree with you on this." Like it's just shit like that. And it's just to troll people, right? And
right.
But people keep taking the bait. So he got this professor from Canada to take the bait on him, right? So I'll pull it up here.
That reminds me of the Phil Hendry show.
Yeah, that's what he just incites people. So this was a professor from Canada. So this guy tweeted, at United, why are you breaking the law? Masks are required on all flights out of Canada. Your flight attendant isn't wearing one. And then he provides the flight number with pictures of the girl. Legit hope she smacked the shit out of him. He says, and Canada is not the USA, you fuckers. So the 3-year Letterman says, correct, you're just a British province, not a real country. You have to do whatever America says. Right? Guy replies to him and says, the one time Canada and the U.S. fought a war, the U.S. lost. Can I call you a loser now? For those of you that don't know, he's referring to the War of 1812, which was Canadians were contracted to burn the White House and then run back over the border and hide. It was hardly a war. So
that's horrible.
I know. The 3-year
Letterman. We ran and lit a fire and ran back home. Yeah. That's a war.
Yeah. So he says, the one time Canada and the U.S. fought a war, the U.S. lost. Can I call you a loser now? 3-year Letterman says, this is false. You lost the Revolutionary War to us and needed us to single-handedly win World War I for you. You have 0 SEC championships. Because that's the conference Georgia plays football in. For those of you that don't know, I'm a little bit of a football fan.
Okay.
So guy says, Canadians, this is what Americans say about this country. They're your low-class neighbors. Apologies, but I can't read maple syrup. What does this say?
Oh, God.
He sends him a link about Canada burning the White House. He says, Lord Maple Leaf, I've made more money panning for gold in Dahlonega than your country's annual GDP.
Dude. Yeah, you know what? Sorry, go on.
No, there's one more. He said, like I said, low class. Glory is a sports letter. Guy whose glory is a sports letter tries to put down. And he says, I don't want to mention this, but you've left me no choice. My company car is a fully loaded 2011 Taurus with a 24-disc CD changer in the trunk.
Oh, God, that's great.
It's so great. The people just take the bait. He calls him, he's like, I'm a 1%er who makes $36.53 an hour.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, 3-year Letterman, give him a follow. He's fucking, and follow me at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter. I'm banned for 7 days because I said I hope that the girl who was occupying my apartment got pancreatic cancer, but I'll be back. So
they banned you for that?
Banned me for that. Yeah.
Why?
Being abusive.
Because it was too mean?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even name her, did you?
I didn't name her. No, I didn't name her. Of course not. I saw what happened to Tim Dillon when he sent people after those lesbians that own the Airbnb. I'm not trying to get sued. No, I won't name drop her. So anyway, sorry, what were you saying? Wow. We were talking about the Lord Maple Leaf.
Lord Maple Leaf. Dude, if Canadians had any... All right, so I have much respect for some Canadians and some not so much. So anybody who, was with the truckers, I think that those guys are awesome. Letterkenny type people, awesome. The people who bow down and think Justin Trudeau can do no wrong, fucking sheep, idiots.
That's most of them, though.
I'm sure that's more, it's probably just like it is here. It's probably more of the city dwellers, the more affluent, the ones that, just think that nothing bad can ever happen and because their lives have been easy. It's probably not the people who live in the rural areas, the blue collar, the people who, have faced different obstacles in life, whether they be, their farm didn't do so great or, their factory got shut down. They're disconnected from people in the city who work different types of jobs,
Mm-hmm.
So I bet that there's a different dynamic up there, just like there is down here.
Yeah. Well, you saw what Trudeau said about handguns, right?
Yes. That is just dictator speak. I mean, he's acting like his dad, Castro.
Yeah. Well, he straight up said, and I'm trying to find the article. He straight up said, here it is. I'll show the article here so people can have a point of reference. This everything else is talking about Joe Rogan, but about Joe Rogan's response to it. He straight up said that you cannot have a gun for self-defense. You don't have a right to defend yourself in Canada. What kind of asinine shit is that? You have to. So what? I just gotta die? You just gotta get raped? Like what? What the fuck?
Right. So fuck single mothers, fuck people living in rural areas, or that you have to deal with animals, you know, possibly attacking them. It's just fuck so many people. Like, how is that not understood that is an inalienable right to defend yourself?
Right.
Against death.
Or even permanent dismemberment, you know, like.
Right. Against anything, especially in your own home.
Yeah. I can't believe that any, like, this is, people don't understand. They keep talking. Why won't you compromise on gun control? Why can't you just let us take, because any compromise we give is going to lead to that. It's going to
and we have been compromising for decades.
There's like thousands of laws on the book. Thousands of laws on the book. If we compromise, compromising any further is going to lead to the president of the United States, just like they did in Canada, coming out and saying you don't have a right to defend yourself in the United States. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's not Alex Jones talk. I just showed you. The Prime Minister of Canada literally came out and said, there's video of him saying it verbatim, you do not have the right to defend yourself in Canada. If we continue to let people push the envelope with this gun grabbing nonsense, that's where we will be as a country soon. That's the reality here. So yes, maybe I'm an extremist, but I would rather be an extremist than live under a ruler that says that I don't have a right to defend myself. Fuck off, bro. Fuck off.
I'm sorry. I am radical about my rights, and that's that. I am radical about keeping them fucking intact because they are mine and I get to keep them. And some of them are what keep me safe. And who is anybody else to tell me, or who else am I supposed to depend on to keep me safe? The government? Because they do such a good job, like in Uvalde.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun one. Did you see what came out about that today?
That they're like fighting to show the body cam footage.
Yeah, they're fighting to suppress it. They're saying that the public has no right to see it. And one picture has been released. It shows, the police in the hallway with long guns, and one of them having one of those like giant shields on a stick.
The riot shields, yeah.
But it's even on a stick, so even the thing is like way out in front of him. So like they couldn't have been more protected. And there was 2 classrooms that they were supposed to enter. That's it. And
there's one.
I could rant on this for fucking ever. There's the gutless wonder, the psyop, the planned. Like it couldn't be more. What you call it?
False flaggy.
Yeah. It also came out that the sheriff has heavily donated to Beto in the past.
The one that just got elected to city council, so he doesn't have to testify in public anymore. Yeah, that one.
Oh, holy shit. He heavily donated to Beto and to Joe Biden, who are both running around Texas right now talking about gun control.
Yep. That's my thing is, so there's 2 reasons they don't want. There's one of 2 reasons they don't want that body camera footage out, right? Number 1 is the obvious, that they hid their like chicken shit little bitches and didn't do anything. Number 2 is that they shot some of those kids. I'm not saying they did it on purpose, but kid may have run out of the hallway or something trying to get away, and they shot him. You know?
Are you serious? I didn't even consider that being a possibility. I'm not saying that happened,
but you remember the call where the kids, where they said, if you need help, shout out, and there's someone shot out and they got shot. What if that was the cops? Like, there's 1 or 2 reasons. And I honestly don't know what's worse. Like, I really don't. I would at least be able to understand a mistake, because at least you actually tried to do something, and but rather than just hid. But yeah, I mean, it's so fucked up down there. I don't even know what to say. They should probably just fucking drop a nuke on the fucking police department there.
The entire police department needs to be top to bottom rehired, or
Absolutely.
Fired
proverbial
and
nuke.
New folks hired, because they lost all their testicles that day, or they were told not to go in there, which is what I'm thinking
that's
is
what I
more
think
likely.
happened. I think that
I think
happened
it's
too.
more likely they were told, don't you dare go in there, don't you dare go in there. So, and they followed orders and let little kids be killed while their parents were outside demanding to go in. And luckily, one mom got handcuffed, released, and jumped that fucking fence and got both of her kids out. And then they threatened her for talking to the media.
I really do think they were told to stand down, because I mean, for all their faults, we could say what we want about cops. Typically, in an active shooter situation, there's one or two of them, no matter what, is going to have the stones to go put the guy down, right? More often than not, it's most of them. That's what they train to do. That's their job, right? They're going to have the stones to go kill the guy. If you're like SWAT team guys or experienced cops, they're ex-military, they've been shot at enough, right? That's not really a thing for them. The odds that Uvalde had just an entire squad of chicken shits that were scared to get shot at, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. It's hard. It's easier for me to believe that there was somebody, whether it was out of incompetence or it was completely on purpose and nefarious, told them to stand down and let people let those kids get killed in there. I find that easier to believe.
Unfortunately, I think it was nefarious. And how often do you think that ICE agents get shot at? Do you think that's very often?
No, probably not.
And that's who went in and saved the fucking day.
He came out and said he did
ICE
it.
Agent.
He came out and said he did it.
He did not do it?
The story's changed like 6 times. I don't know who to
believe.
I
don't know what to believe. That.
For all we know, the dude could still be in there shooting people with as many times as this story's changed. Yeah, I had
not heard that.
They ain't even saying who killed him. So and it could have changed since I heard that. That was 2 days ago. So who knows? I mean,
that's very true.
Again, I try not to follow stories like this because they're just so negative, and there's enough bad shit going on in the world, and there's enough stress to go around that I don't need to read about a book. Like, it's terrible that it happened. My prayers are obviously with the family, but I don't need to read about a bunch of kids getting massacred every day. That doesn't need to consume me. Like,
right.
But
yeah, there's some stories I've tried to stay away from. That is actually not one of them, simply because I want those cops held accountable.
Absolutely.
I want, you know what? Not only them, I want whoever was pulling the fucking strings and telling them to stand down held more accountable than them, because obviously they were scared for their jobs or whatever. And so they follow the fucking orders, that's beat into them. Follow orders, protocol, whatever. And they did that to their detriment that day. And I want whoever gave the order to be held even more accountable.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I would like to think that our leaders wouldn't sacrifice 20 kids to push a political agenda, but I really wouldn't put anything past them because they've done it before. So, look at Waco, look at Ruby Ridge. Our government has no problem. Look at fucking what's going on in the Middle East every day. Our government has no problem killing kids to push their agenda. Kids.
Yeah, whether they're American or Middle Eastern, they don't give a fuck.
No, they don't give a flying fuck. They have no problem. They will kill you. They will kill your kid. They will kill your fucking dog, and they'll be happy to do it. And then they'll paint themselves as the hero and you as a terrorist. Because guess what? You're dead and can't tell the story. Luckily, Randy Weaver was a lot. I mean, I know the guy was a white supremacist trash or whatever, but I mean, fortunately, Randy Weaver survived Ruby Ridge to tell the story. Because if they would have massacred that whole family at Ruby Ridge, you wouldn't have heard. None of that info would have come out because he wouldn't have been able to subpoena and sue and go out there and say, hey, this isn't what happened. You never would have found out that they shot his kid in the back of the head as he was running to go inside to get away from the gunfire. You never would have found out.
Isn't it amazing that he actually won those cases against the government who perpetrated this?
Mm-hmm.
That is what that blows my mind, and it makes me so happy that at least every once in a while it fucking happens and these things get exposed.
Yeah. That's what's this say?
Because I don't think most of the time they do get exposed. You know what I mean? Like fucking what you call it? Las Vegas. I don't think that we will ever find out what happened at that concert in Las Vegas a few years ago, because it could not have possibly been perpetrated by one person. No. There's no way one person could have fired that many bullets, regardless of the firepower he had.
Well,
he only has one finger. Sorry, two.
I remember seeing and you wouldn't be able to shoot two bump stocks accurately like that anyway. I remember seeing the footage when it came out, and it didn't sound like a bump stock. It sounded like a machine gun. There's they have distinct sounds, bump stocks and machine guns. Like, it sounded like a machine gun. And there was one of the videos, you could clearly see gunfire coming from where his hotel supposedly was. And then about 6 floors down, you could see gunfire coming from another window. So maybe that was just light reflecting, but it never got addressed. They also never addressed the fact that there's pictures of cops posing like they're being shot at, and then when you zoom out, there's just people walking around on their phones because the pictures were taken afterwards to use as propaganda, right? They won't.
There was a lot of pictures wiped that were first up, and
like the picture of the guy in the crime scene where he supposedly shot thousands of rounds and there were about 10 shell casings on the floor, you know?
Right. And who is the only entity probably capable of wiping the internet of images forever?
Right. Yeah. CIA. Yeah, I know. Right. Google. They're kind of the same thing anymore. Oh, why did the guy's wife go to the Philippines right before he did it? You know, why did his brother come out and say, hey, my brother would never do that? And then the next day they find child porn on his computer from 1991 that probably can't even access the internet. Like, I mean, or at least the sites that you would go to get something like that, because I mean, you can't, it's not like you can just type child porn into Google and it pops up. You know, it's like he would have to go to like a specific place to find that. We could probably ask our failed artist friend. He might be able to tell us.
Gross.
So, not really. Maybe. I mean, he might. He's into other shit. So, but I know it's so. And then you have a multimillionaire businessman just snaps, decides I'm going to go mow a bunch of people down. It's happened 0 times ever. Pretty huge shit. Hundreds of people dead, and we just never hear about it again. Never hear about it again.
Like, I seriously tried to dive down that rabbit hole, found as much information as I could, and it's scarce and scarcer. You know, they wipe pictures, they wipe videos of, you know, things that individuals put up, you know, that were not media or from police. So that tells me something, you know, just like anytime the government or the media is pushing something really hard, that's when your fucking, you know, spidey sense should go up and say something's not right.
Just like Ukraine.
Just like Ukraine, just like the vax, just like
the money laundering scheme, Ukraine.
Yeah. Our officials are over there right now laundering billions of dollars. It's super great for them. Fuck us.
Yeah, fuck us. We're headed towards a recession. You know, probably double-digit unemployment soon.
But hey, Biden and Pelosi will just be getting, you know, their portfolios and, you know, all that
10% for the big guy. 10% for the big guy. That's all that matters. And the mean tweets are gone. It's the important things, right?
But that was a fake laptop, even though his attorney asked for it back.
It was a fake laptop that they've now admitted was real, and everything on it was real.
Yeah. And it's pretty obvious it was fucking real by the videos of Hunter Biden. Videos of Hunter Biden, who sounds exactly like his dad.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I don't even. It's all fucked. I see Biden's gross. Approval ratings come out, and they're like historically low, right? It's like 38% approve, 59% disapprove. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Like, he sucks. Who are the 38% of the people that can look at this fucking country and go, yeah, he's doing pretty good. He's done pretty well. I honestly can't name one thing he's done well. The only thing he's done I agree with was getting out of Afghanistan, and he managed to fuck that up too.
Fuck it all up. Even after he said he wouldn't do it that way. Even after he said it would be smooth and no American left behind. And it's because he has lies out of that motherfucker.
It's because he has dementia and he forgets and he wakes up and he makes rash decisions, and it's very concerning, actually.
So then that means his entire cabinet is also to blame, because nobody could have said, hey, I think that I have a better plan for exiting Afghanistan.
They just they can't all be this inept. It really does. I mean, you hear about the Great Reset, but it really does feel like it's all by design, that they're artificially crashing. It's a controlled demolition of the economy and our society as a whole. That's really what it feels like.
If you would have told me 6 years ago about the New World Order or 7
it would have
years
sounded like Alex Jones. Yeah,
I would have been like, you're nuts. Now they're telling us out loud. Klaus Schwab, who dresses like a fucking supervillain or outer space villain.
Klaus Schwab might actually be a lizard person. Like, I might actually reconsider that theory.
Yeah, and he's out there saying, global reset, like it's disgusting.
You'll own nothing and you'll like it.
You'll own nothing, you'll like it. We're going to depopulate and you're going to like it. And fuck you guys.
See, the people that are doing this have not studied history, because you can only step on the working class's throat like this for so long until it bites you in the ass. I mean, look at the French Revolution, and it's not, doesn't have to just be a class thing. I mean, look at the American Revolution, look at any revolution throughout history. Where people were fighting for more freedom, not communist revolutions. Those are different. But I mean, the American Revolution, think about, you can only suck people dry and fuck with them for so long before it ends with your head in a guillotine. That's it. And I'll tell you what, bro, the French didn't have AR-15s. So you might want to pump the brakes a little bit.
Right. If there's one thing people in this fucking country are passionate about, is freedom and liberty, especially on a personal level, especially on a private level.
Yeah.
You start fucking with that, they're going to fuck back and you're not going to like it.
We're just fucking with people's money. How desperate can you make people? You know what I mean? Like, they're saying, a recession's coming. Save up in case you lose your job. How do you save? Orange juice is $79. How do you save?
What are we supposed to cut back on? Food?
Right, yeah. Something's going to give, and in these situations, it's usually the people pulling the strings at some of their necks. Like, that's usually what ends up giving. And I'm not advocating for that, not saying people should go out and do it. I'm just taking an objective look at throughout history. When you've pushed the buttons of the serf class, it doesn't end well for you. And a lot of the time, the serf class wasn't armed to the teeth like they are now. So reevaluate your strategy is all I'm saying.
Yeah, the pew pew crowd isn't gonna put up with this shit for much longer.
Nobody is. Nobody is. It's and that's what people don't realize is. I know we got to wrap it up soon here, but the average voter is going to vote based on how much money is in his pocket, right? He doesn't care about January 6th. He doesn't care about anything like that. When election time rolls around and gas is $8.55 a gallon, like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to vote for you? Do you think they're going to trust the people that are in power? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So,
well, I think a lot of them have proven that they have lost completely touch with reality. Mm-hmm. And so they're just going to keep doing what they're doing, and hopefully they do. And yeah, nobody's going to keep voting for them. No one's going to put up with it. So hopefully next election cycle, these ass faces will be gone.
Bring on President DeSantis.
Wouldn't that be fabulous?
I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. I don't even give a flying fuck. I don't agree with him on everything. But it's...
No, but 80-20 rule.
Yeah, 70-30 rule at this point, man. Fuck it. Like...
No, but I mean, excuse me, he has done everything right considering COVID, schools, parents' choice, the
economy. Yeah.
Yep, he has done everything right, and he deserves all the accolades for that. I mean, he'd be a great president.
One of the attacks I saw his opponent was using was how expensive housing is in Florida. I'm like, yeah, it's because everyone wants to live there.
They just had a huge, giant influx of people in the last 2 years.
Housing's expensive because he's done such a good job. Everyone wants to live there. Like, yeah, that's actually a compliment, guys. Like,
and it's a really nice place to live. I mean, yeah, they've got the alligators and all that shit, but there's no state income tax, and it's warm all year, and there's beaches within driving distance pretty much wherever you live. So, gee, what a shitty state to live in.
You know what? That Disney standoff thing went away because he won, because they basically said Disney's gonna pay this shit. And did you see what he did to the Tampa Bay Rays?
No.
They tweeted graphic, or they made some tweet in favor of gun control, and he rejected the bid for their new stadium for $35 million. Shut it down. He's like, I'm not gonna give public funding to an organization that's gonna push a political view. Shut it down.
Yeah,
no, they don't.
Be playing sports,
they're out.
Fuckers.
They don't get their new facility. It's gone because he's like, fuck you. We're not doing this. They do things differently in Florida.
Good.
I dig it. He's got some balls. He's like, if Trump didn't talk like a moron and have a bunch of scandals behind him, it'd be Ron DeSantis. Like, I'm all for it. Yeah. There's a well-spoken Trump that doesn't have a hooker problem. Like,
but he still controls just a little bit, and I love it.
He controls like in a professional manner, you know?
Right. He does it with class.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. You know, I could have gone and slashed that girl's tires, but I did it the legal way. Everything I did to her was within the law. You know, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? We did an hour. Do you have anything else you want to go over? We did a solid hour, so
we did. I know. You know what? We do have a guest next week. I wish you would. I'm pulling up the calendar.
No, you're good.
We have Michael Heiss next week, kids. He is the founder of the Mises Caucus, who just swept the LP pretty much.
It'll be interesting
in every state and the LNC, you know, the National Committee. So that'll be fun to talk to him about. He just did an interview with Reason, and Nick Gillespie. He's done better. So we'll talk to him about that, and we'll talk to him about what the plans are for the future of the party and what his vision and all that jazz is, I'm sure. So I'm excited about that. I haven't talked to him for a while.
Hell yeah. That'll be fun. Can't wait to find out what that is. I know a little bit about it. I know
it's the fun caucus, Caleb. We're called all the awful names.
I know that the drag queen story hour libertarians are gone, and that's a plus. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. It'll be interesting to talk to him. Interesting guy. So
yeah, so the new LNC chair, Angela McArdle, was on Timcast the other night. So if you have, any question, any not concerns, I'm drunk. It's the end of the hour. Sorry, guys. If you had any curiosity about it, go watch Timcast from the other night with Angela McArdle. Luckily,
are you having a stroke?
I feel like sometimes I talk so
fast I fuck up and it sounds like I'm having a stroke, but no, I get it.
I literally just felt like I had my tongue pierced again, and I was like trying to maneuver around and say things, appropriately. But no, it's the lack of food and amount of beers I've had today. So sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. Hell yeah, check that shit out. Check us out next Tuesday at 9 p.m. You don't want to miss it. We'll have lots of fun. So I got Harmful Content Comedy July 2nd coming up. Zach Bravietti, you seen him on this show. Come out and check him out. $10. Homeboy did a lot of advertising for me that I don't have to pay for now.
Well,
yeah,
so Bravietti's a funny little guy.
No, yeah, fun. Little emphasis on little.
Sorry, yeah. I love him. I love you, Zach. You know it.
Zach Bravietti will be here July 2nd, coming in from New York, fresh off performing at The Stand, the world famous comedy club in New York, several times actually.
Nice. Good for him.
I got some other dates. Let me think. 720. We're booking them way out. 722. I think it's Norfolk. It's not Fork. It's Norfolk. I'll be there. September 11th, I'll be in Wichita, Kansas. Like, we're booking them way down the road. So like, we'll have some other dates coming up soon and announcements. And if you like listening to us, you want me to come out, shoot me a DM. Don't actually shoot me. and we'll set up a comedy thing in your city. I'm always looking to travel, so I appreciate it. That's really all I got. Check out my other podcast, Bread and Circuses. That's all I got.
My typical, yeah. If you want to be a guest or if you have a suggestion, go ahead and slide into my DMs. That's the only acceptable time. Unless you have something to tell me I need to know.
Especially if you have schizophrenia, we want to hear from you. Come on the show.
Oh God. All right. Good night, guys.
All right. Peace the fuck out, y'all. See you later.